Hi everybody, I'm back again. This is video number 2, and I have a learning disability with having my mental illness and my brain injury, like seizure activity. But anyways, there was like this thing that came up that said, is it kid friendly? Well, that's a good question. I mean, we have to start this out this way because I don't know. I believe it's kid friendly, but there may be certain things getting discussed that maybe younger kids can't hear or don't need to hear about yet. But it's mental health. Like, this should get brought up a lot in families, like little ones, older ones, grandmas and grandpas, everybody. By the way, this is the coffee cup for today's episode. Exclude the bad word. Oops. So get your coffee ready. Have a cup of coffee with me, and let's discuss this. I don't know. I wrote some notes because with my learning disability, I have short-term memory and I forget what I'm talking about, and then I repeat myself, and I'm not trying to talk in circles, like, you know. So the big question is that I ask myself 100 times, and people ask me, are you okay? Am I okay? That's a hard question. Can you answer it? I think I am. Yesterday, I know I wasn't. I had a very emotional depression day yesterday. I was like in tears. I feel like I was left alone, all in a ball with nobody. And I had people who were supposed to be over here, and I never got back to them. They never got back to me. It was just a really crappy weekend. So I hope your weekend was a lot better than mine. So let's get this thing going. Okay, so we have mental health. We have depression. We have bipolar. We have anxiety, PTSD, ADHD, schizophrenia, multi-personality disorder. Oh my goodness, I am missing so much more. And it is such a big thing to... It's huge. And it's all with your head. Like, I don't think anybody understands your brain fully. The brain is so big. But we have all them things in mental health. And then we have bullies. Then we have people judgmental. Then we have people who don't want to give somebody a chance because they don't seem right. Or you need to pull your big girl panties up. Or they have a couple of screws loose. No. They don't. So, but people like that also, they trigger shit off. I should probably watch my mouth. But there's triggers. Oops, sorry. I'm doing this on my phone. I don't have a laptop or anything cool like that. I wish I did. So I'm sorry about the whole, it's raw, real raw. But triggers, you know, anything that sets you off emotionally, it activates memories, you know, of trauma events. And nobody wants to relive their past. But triggers could be anything from a show on TV, a place you go to, a song on the radio, something you eat for lunch or dinner. It could be mine. I have a train that runs through my back, and the sound of it sounds like a very loud truck. That triggers off my anxiety. I was in a car accident in the past couple of years ago, so I have anxiety when I'm driving, so a trigger is also oncoming traffic for me. Like, are they going to hit me? It was pretty severe. It's my dog. He hates being on camera. He does. But the biggest thing is, you know, you're not alone. And we need to breathe and be calm. And just slow down. Like, everything is so rapid. I gotta go here. I gotta go to work. I'm running late. I gotta go do this. You know, I have to pace myself so then I can manage everything in my head. If you're new to this and someone told you to look at my videos or you came across it, maybe you think inside your head that maybe you're having depression thoughts, but you can't be depressed. That's not you. That was me. That was me 7 years ago. I had an MRI done on my brain. I found out that the right front lobe of my brain is dead scar tissue, and my doctor came up to me and he said, well, it looks like seizure activity, but if I were to diagnose you with anything, I would probably tell you that you're just really depressed. I mean, you're a single mom raising 3 kids by yourself. What not is depressing about that? And I looked at him and I was like, what? My girls make my world complete. They are what completes me. They are what keeps me going. They're my medicine. They are my everything. I don't have depression. I bet if I would have listened to him back then and where I am today, it might have changed a couple things. But my pride was in the way. So anyways, if you're kind of new at this and don't know what you're doing, or kind of in between, maybe not, early signs before things get bad, I guess. Sleeping. How much do you sleep? Enough? Too much? Not enough? Eating habits. Do you splurge? Do you snack a lot? Do you space out? Do you lose track of the dates and the times? This is a good one. Pushing people away. I do that. Do you get shaky over stuff? I do. Overthinking and worrying. Number 1. I always overthink things. So if you are dealing with anything like that and are contemplating on your mental health, or is this normal? It doesn't hurt. You're not looked at differently. I don't think anybody should be looked at differently because they feel a certain way. Emotions are huge. Feelings are huge. But the biggest thing is when you decide to start pushing people out of your life, And then feeling alone is one of the biggest things ever. I get fidgety when I'm nervous. So, this is real. Let's turn the page. Like I said, I wrote some notes because I don't want to keep talking in circles, obviously. Because I do that. And I will ramble. And I squirrel. I get way off focus. So, where can mental illnesses come from? It could come from being hereditary. Your parents are bipolar. Your mom has some mental illnesses with ADHD, or I'm not a doctor. Please don't, because I said something that's what things. This is my opinion. Bullies can give you mental illnesses. I think people bully also because of mental illness. I think they're not getting attention at home, or they're depressed, or they were bullied by somebody else. Abusive relations, whether you are a guy or a female, and they are putting hands on you, messing with your head, putting you down, calling you stupid, saying that you're not good enough. Don't ever let somebody try making your worth. You are worth more than they could ever imagine. Mental illnesses can come from an accident. It can give you depression. I have a brain injury, and because of my brain injury, I already have depression that follows my brain injury. You can get it from, people coming back from the war, They get PTSD. There's so much other stuff, and I can't I don't know what else they deal with because I wasn't there. I have a very close friend of mine who is like family to me, and I've seen what it does to him. And I love that man with everything I have, and I always will. A tragic event of your life. Mental illness. It could come from losing a family member. It could come from a breakup, or if you've seen somebody getting shot, or living with a drug addict, an alcoholic, going through what they go through. It can give you depression. It can give you anxiety. All of that, though, and there's so much more, but all of that together, it's so hard to live every single day and not feel judged, not feel put down, not feel like you're worth. There's so much more with mental illness that I don't even know. Just because I have depression, somebody else could have depression at a completely different level, at a completely different stage of what I have. I have severe depression. I have depression every single day. I live depression. I live anxiety. I live mental health every day. I don't get a break. I breathe it. But I have had to make it me and overcome certain things so then I can be better. And that's why I'm hoping that this will be able to help somebody else with theirs, which I've already had a couple people get a hold of me, and I am so thankful for just being an inspiration, like, that's huge, because I feel like I'm nothing. And I am somebody, and that's what you are. So, mechanisms on how to take the pain away. That's huge. This is my theory. I'm not a doctor, like I said. Go to a therapist, for one. Don't put your pride in front of it. Find a good therapist. There are them out there. There are wonderful people who just don't look at it as a paycheck. They want to help people. I have the best therapist I could ever imagine. And he's not a pill pusher, which is nice. So he sits and concentrates on what's good for me. What would make April good? What would make April happy? Where do we go from this point to this point? Yeah, there's many antidepressants out there. Antidepressants, before I was even diagnosed with anxiety and bad PTSD, bad depression, with my brain injury, when they found out about the depression that was already there, they were trying to get me on antidepressants that would level my brain out. So then I would just be able to live and work and everything else. I was on 3 to 5 different antidepressants, and I wanted to kill myself. And it was the worst feeling ever. It's because of my brain injury, the right front lobe of my brain is gone. It's just non-resistant. It's dead scar tissue. So when you take medication, it goes to that side of your brain, and that side of the brain then decides how to react with your meds. Because mine is non-resistant, I get every side effect within minutes of taking medication. I wish I didn't have to feel like this every single day. I wish I had an opportunity that I would be able to take a pill that would make me feel better. And I didn't want to cry. I don't have that opportunity. So I have to think of other mechanisms that will help me with my depression to move on with the day. So, I've written poetry throughout my life. It was kind of a big thing. I haven't done it recently, but I love writing. I love to write things down. I also bake to get my mind going on things, so then I don't start thinking about having nobody or being alone, I also paint, and painting is great for mental health, and it's kind of like my medicine. Next to putting on my face is kind of a little booster to make myself feel better about myself. But I wanted to share a couple of my paintings that are my favorite with you. So we have this one. This is one of my favorites. I just recently did this one. And I just did this one yesterday or the day before. Today's Monday. I did this yesterday. Friends become our chosen family. So I paint, and I've been doing it since high school. I lost touch because I was in a very bad situation in my life. And then I got married and never picked up a paintbrush. And my last marriage, I decided, well, my sister came over and she paints, and she said, I think it'll be really, really healthy for you to paint. And she was right. And maybe she saved my life with it. Maybe her having me pick up a paintbrush again saved me. I don't know. So, this is pretty big. So, having mental health, there's so many things, and it's kind of like a checklist. And when you go see a therapist or a doctor, they have you kind of fill this out, and you need to pay attention to all the signs, all the things that you're going through, because your life matters. My life matters. Too many lives are taken away from us because we don't see the signs of mental health. So, are you canceling plans last minute? I do. I do a lot. I give up excuses so then I don't have to do something with somebody. Just so that I can do nothing and be miserable. It makes no sense, but it does in my head. Mood swings. Are you extremely unmotivated to socialize? Or shower, clean, or go to work? I get motivation to clean. But that's kind of like a big thing, but it's been lacking a lot lately. Are you thinking people dislike you, or are mad at you, or hate you? Honestly, I think that all the time. I message family and friends asking them if they're mad at me. I exclude myself from family because I don't think they like me. I don't think they want to be around me because I'm too effed up. So I exclude myself or always think somebody's mad at me. Ugh. Seriously, F you, depression. Okay. Thinking that you're a burden to family or friends is the same thing. I always do. And that's why I like to be by myself, because then I can come and go when I want to, and I don't have to worry about, God, I'm such a pain in the butt. Emotionally unavailable. I don't know how that is, because I put myself available, and then you get all these guys. As a single woman, you get all these guys who are show you that they're interested in you. And then once you want something more serious, they're gone. How are you supposed to handle that? How do you not take that personally? How does that not mess with your head? Isolation. That happens after them guys be dropping too. I isolate myself. I isolate myself all weekend this weekend. I made sure my kids were driven to where they needed to go and came back home and did nothing. Dramatic outbursts. That's another sign. Do you get mad over nothing? Do you yell? Do you scream? Reassurance. All right. I am the person who is like, are you sure you're not mad at me? Can you just make sure you tell me if you're mad? Like, if I do something wrong, will you please tell me? That's me. I need reassurance all the time. And again, we can get into the whole, are you sleeping good? Are you eating good? Are you eating too much, too little? Sleeping too much, too little? That's huge. Meltdowns. Meltdowns are huge. They're healthy on one hand, but on the other hand, depending on how many meltdowns you have, are you getting judged because you're crying? I don't know. Changing hobbies, careers, or interests. I'm all over the place sometimes. Sometimes I'm not. But through this checklist, I could at least check over half of them. And if you're contemplating on mental health for yourself and not sure where you're at, that's a pretty good checklist to start with. I'm not comparing my mental health with what anybody else would have. But the biggest thing is to make sure that you feel wanted. And you are. Making sure that you're doing the best that you can. And that's the main thing. As long as you know that you can do it, and you can move mountains once you're able to get that through. I mean, we're going to have our slips here and there. You're going to feel worthless. But you're not, and you need to keep telling yourself that. You need to keep saying to yourself, I'm better than that. I know I can do it. So, I'm going to end this video, and I just want everyone to know that you're not alone. And don't ever let somebody push you down or feel like you're worth nothing. Because you are worth more than diamonds. You are worth more than anything can buy. I don't know if this video is going to help anybody. But if you have any ideas that you want me to talk about, or disagreements that, or maybe more information for me to look up or talk about, I would love your input. And I just want everyone to keep paying it forward and love one another and make this world a better place. Thank you for listening to my video and watching it. Mwah!